Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be breaking down the full card of Cannonier versus Borralho. With this card, it's only got 9 fights at the moment. Once obviously the tough finalists have been announced, I'll make a separate video for that one. That might come out on fight week for this card. But yeah, first up we've got Wang versus Victoria Leonardo. Wang here has got a background of kickboxing. She's on a 5-fight win streak. Obviously, she just only had 5 fights in the UFC as well. Very good striker. Obviously, she's very patient, measures up her range pretty well as well. Mixing up her combinations on top. So yeah, she's very calculated on striking. She's also got some decent grappling and good good jiu-jitsu as well. So in the MMA here, you can see on the road to UFC, she's had a mounted guillotine choke as well. So very dangerous opponent. She's also got a win over Valentina Shevchenko back in the day in kickboxing 2015, I think that was, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, so going up against someone like Victoria Leonardo, I don't really rate Victoria Leonardo striking too well. She's coming off a loss there as well against Natalie Silva, but Natalie Silva's obviously coming up towards the top 15, or she may be in the top 15. Victoria Leonardo's last win was like a couple of years ago, 2 years ago against Mandy Bohm. She's a pressure striker, but she gets hit a lot, and she's quite slow as well with the striking. So and I feel like she's going a bit past her prime as well. So I don't think she'll be able to hang with Wang on the feet. She'll be trying to look for the takedowns. That's what she did in the last fight as well. She was like trying to close the distance and look for the takedown, but didn't do too well in that department. So her grappling and her wrestling is more of a game compared to her striking. And she's got some decent jiu-jitsu as well, but she doesn't just, yeah, she's not very good at closing her range and mix it all together. So I'm going to go with Wang, the pick here. It's definitely a confident pick. I just don't rate Victoria Leonardo in any way. I think even if that fight hits the ground, I think Wang would do well to get submission. Next up, we've got Josiane Nunes versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Yeah, Cavalcanti, Jesus Christ. So anyways, Josiane Nunes coming off a loss here too against Chelsea Chandler. Like, that's not a really good look, because I picked Chelsea Chandler to win against Yana Santos, and Yana Santos just beat the fuck out of Chelsea Chandler just this past weekend. Not a good look for that pick, but it is what it is. Yeah, Josiane Nunes, she's more of a pressure striker, got Muay Thai background, mixed up with low kicks with the combinations at top. But the only problem I've got with Josiane Nunes is she gets hit a lot, and she's very short too. So her defense is not there on the striking. Even in the last fight here, like, she was getting, like, not against Chelsea Chandler, even against Zara Fan, like, she was getting hit a fair bit in the last couple of fights. Even the knockouts she's got, her defense, I just don't rate her defense too well, as much as she's good offensively. Also, another one is her takedown defense is not the best, so she has been taken down a fair bit in the last couple of fights. And she can get controlled on the ground too, and even if the opponent doesn't get a submission, they can get some rack up some control time there, get some ground and pound in. So as much as she is a good striker, and I understand the community here is picking Nunes as well to go against Cavalcanti, I'm just going to go the opposite way, because I feel like Jacqueline, from seeing her last couple of fights, she's got some fights on the PFL as well. She's very good at measuring her range too. She's very good at working the outside, and very good on the defense, and picks her shots pretty well. She uses a lot of straight shots, and she measures her calf kicks pretty well as well. So yeah, I'm going to go with the opposite here. I'm going to go with Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I feel like she's a lot more smarter on the defense compared to Josiane Nunes. I feel like Nunes will get, I've noticed in the last couple of fights, she gets frustrated as well when she gets tagged up a fair bit. And yeah, I'm going to go with Jacqueline Cavalcanti pick, being more smarter, not as aggressive, and measuring her striking a lot better than Josiane Nunes here. So obviously here, community has gone for Nunes and 36 Cavalcanti. I'm going to go Cavalcanti. Look, you know, I could be wrong, but I just feel like the smarter striker in this fight here, and the better IQ is Jacqueline Cavalcanti. The next up, we've got what do we got here? Yeah, next up we've got another bit of a weird fight here. Viacheslav Borshchev versus James Llontop. Oh my god. Sorry about the pronunciations. If you guys been around the channel a bit, you know I butcher names for a living, so I do apologize. So yeah, Borshchev is coming off a loss against Chase Hooper. He got just beaten up in that fight, also taken down by Chase Hooper and submitted. He's had a majority draw over Nazim Sadikov and win against Meerschaert as over a year ago, and a lot of losses here. So he's good. Like his striking is not bad. Like he's got some good calf kicks and a lot of decent combinations. Like he's not a bad striker, and he's like measures it up pretty well as well. Like he's good at keeping the range and whatnot. The only problem I have with Borshchev is he's just taken down a lot. A lot of these fights has been taken down and controlled on the ground. Maybe one or two fights where he's done well to get up on his feet, but I don't really rate his takedown defense. So like, and he's fighting now Team Alpha Male. Jesus Christ! Yeah, so he was taken down by Mark Casey, and even the last fight got taken down, submitted. So it's not really a good look. So he does have the veteran experience in the UFC compared to James Llontop. Like Llontop here is coming off a loss himself, got submitted. Llontop's a guy like he's patient striker. Very long, uses the calf kicks, body kicks, and a lot of straight shots. He doesn't throw too much output. Yes, he does get taken down a fair bit, but I don't think there'll be many takedowns in this fight. But then again, like Borshchev coming at Team Alpha Male, he doesn't use his takedown, so he may use his takedown in this fight. I don't know, but I feel like Llontop does, even though he gets taken down, he does well to get up on his feet. But yeah, this last fight got submitted there, and he's coming off a win off Contender Series against Mike Lewis. So yeah, he does throws a lot of less output, but he's got some decent accuracy and he's got some decent striking there. So he's still young to the game. It's one of those type of fights, like, you know, does Borshchev gonna use his experience and pick Llontop apart here with veterans experience, or is Llontop gonna lose being the younger guy? So both guys, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I just don't know about Llontop either, because just how he gets taken down very easily as well. And also like, yeah, he gets hit a bit too himself. So it's a low confidence pick. I'm gonna go with Borshchev because of the US experience. Yeah, but then again, yeah, it's a tricky one. If I was a betting man, I'd stay away from this fight. Obviously the community picking Borshchev and some going KO with Llontop, but that's understandable. So low confidence pick here. I'm gonna go Borshchev against Llontop, but I wouldn't be surprised if Llontop ends up taking this in the third round and getting maybe a split decision win. Next up, we've got here José Medina versus Zach Reese. José Medina's coming off a loss here off the Contender Series. I really don't rate this guy, to be honest. Like, he's good on the outside. He's got some knockouts in the outside regional scene, but unfortunately, he just looks slow. He just looks slow. He gets hit a fair bit, chin up high. You know, throws a bit of leg kicks. Yeah, mixes up his straight combinations. Throws a lot of straight shots, but he was getting hit a lot in the last couple of fights. Like, I just don't think he's UFC level. He's quite slow too. So, yeah, I just don't rate this guy, man. I just feel like the UFC's going to use Zach Reese to kind of walk over him, and Zach Reese coming off a win there, uppercut and hammer fist finish against Marcus. Zach Reese is a guy that targets the low kicks, throw a lot of front kicks to the body and a lot of body kicks to his combination, and his striking is very good. He mixes it up really well on his combinations. Another guy has it. Zach Reese is another guy with a chin up high. Obviously, a lot of the taller fighters have their chin very high. When he does get taken down, Zach Reese, he does decent with setting up submissions off his back. So he's got some good jiu-jitsu on the ground there. And yeah, with this loss here against Cody Brundage, you will see that's just a weird loss. Like, he got slammed, TKO'd, and yeah, he just got caught up in a weird position there. But I wouldn't look at that as a bad thing, like against his record. Like he's obviously come off and learnt off it, but yeah, it's a bit of a lucky win with Cody Brundage. I'm sorry, but I have to say it. Cody Brundage is not good. Zach Reese just got caught up in that one in a weird way. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Zach Reese with a KO. A lot of the community obviously picking here with Zach Reese being knocking Medina out, and I think that's what's gonna happen because yeah, José Medina's looks like he's coming off the back end of his career. He's just very slow and defensively he's not that great either. So Zach Reese is the pick here. Next up we have Dennis Buzukja versus Denny Silva. It's probably not how you pronounce it, but I do apologize again. Dennis here is coming off a win. TKO against Conor Matthews. Before that, he's had a couple of losses. He's got knocked out by Jamal Emmers. Emmers is quite tall, so he's lost against a lot of the guys that are more tall in the division. And obviously, Sean Woodson boxing background, and Jamal Emmers obviously a lot taller and lengthier guys. So he's had trouble obviously with lengthier guys here. Dennis Buzukja, sorry. He's another guy that targets the legs. Mixes up a lot of straight shots. Defensively, he gets hit a fair bit too. Dennis Buzukja got some good takedown defense as well. Training out Longo and Weidman, out of New York, so his grappling is there. But his guy just likes to stay on the stand up and then strike. But yeah, so that one there, I think the Sean Woodson was a last minute replacement there. I remember him coming in as a last minute replacement in that fight. So yeah, striker, but defensively gets hit a fair bit. And going against someone like Denny Silva. Denny Silva's a guy, if you guys see his fights, he walks down his opponents. He's quite smart, to be honest. Like, he does get hit a fair bit, but he's picks his shots pretty well, Denny Silva, mixing up leg kicks and mixing up his combinations. I feel like he's the better striker, Denny Silva here, with his defense and his offense. So I feel like he's going to try to walk down Dennis Buzukja and target the body there and the low kicks. And also, when Denny Silva closes the distance here, he uses the cage and gets his takedown. Like he did that to Josh Kilbar. He'll walk him down, get him on the back there, back foot, and when the back is against the fence there, he'll close distance with his clinching and he'll use his takedown. So he's quite smart there. Both guys get hit a lot there, but yeah, I got Silva by decision here. I think he's going to be using his IQ a bit more better than Dennis Buzukja in this fight. So yeah, he's the pick. And the community picked Dennis Silva there over Buzukja as well. Next up, we got the main card here: Angela Hill versus Tabatha Ricci. I honestly don't know with this fight. It can go either way. Angela Hill's been around the block like fuck. We call it Angela Hill split decision Hill. Pushing 40 years old too. So Angela Hill is one of those fighters where she's good offensively, like pressure striker, throws a lot of straight shots, but defensively she can get hit a fair bit too. She's good offensively with her grappling and her takedowns. Defensively very poor with her grappling and takedowns. Yeah, she's just a bit of a weird one. You don't know what type of Angela Hill you're gonna get on the fight day. I'd say like she probably is. You could call her the hype killer in this division. Like she would lose like to the top 5, or maybe even the top 10 there, and beat anyone that's coming out from the top 15 or unranked. That's got a bit of hype behind them. Coming into the division, she will use her veteran experience to get the win there. So obviously the UFC were kind of pushing Pinheiro there, Luana Pinheiro, to beat Angela Hill. She killed that hype with a submission, and Denise Gomez she beat as well. She lost to Mackenzie Dern, and then won these fights here. Lapita as well. That's a good win there against Lapita Godina. So she's pushing 40 as well. She's been around for a bit, and going against someone against like Tabatha Ricci, striking's okay. She gets hit a fair bit too. She'd be more looking for takedowns because if you see in his last fight there, she tried to get Tisha Penton down, couldn't do it. So the whole fight was on the stand up there. So her bread and butter is the takedowns and using the jiu-jitsu to beat the Ricci, but striking, I feel like Angela Hill may have the edge on the striking, using more of the straight shots, but to beat a Ricci here, they both get hit a fair bit, so it's one of those things like, will Tabatha Ricci get this fight on the ground and use a grappling, and maybe I don't think she'll submit Angela Hill. She may be able to control her and get some ground and pound in. But yeah, it's definitely a 50-50 fight. It can go either way. Yeah, it's a hard one, to be honest. But I wouldn't, like, the opponents that she beat recently, Angela Hill, I feel like Tabatha Ricci is a lot better than them. So yeah, maybe Angela Hill's got the best of the striking here. Like, again, both girls get hit a lot, so I'm gonna go with Tabatha Ricci on this. It's a low confidence pick. Again, if I was a betting person, I would stay away from the fight. A community pick 50-50. They just don't know how it's gonna go, just like myself. So low confidence pick. I feel like Tabatha Ricci is a lot better than opponents. Angela Hill beat in the last couple here and these lot here. Like, Lupita's a good win though, but that was almost 2 years ago, and I feel like Angela maybe getting a bit past the prime there, but I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, this fight. So low confidence pick to beat a Ricci there. I wouldn't be mad if I get that one wrong, to be honest. Next up we've got Michael Morales versus Neil Magny. Michael Morales is undefeated here. He beat the shit out of Jake Matthews. I picked Jake Matthews in that fight. Not a good look, so for me. So Michael Morales here, very good striker, very good. He's got some nice hand speed, good footwork, use the outside, those little leg kicks, kicks the body as well. His timing and accuracy is very good, so he's a very sharp striker here. So going against someone like Neil Magny, I think he will be the better striker, Michael Morales, with his timing and footwork, and staying on range. Neil Magny, I don't think his striking will be up to par with him, as much as he does have the reach, though. But yeah, I just don't think he would have the footwork and be able to stand with Michael Morales. Neil Magny is that type of guy, like, he will try to close the distance and, you know, use the clinch game more, try to get the fight to the ground and use his grappling and use his jiu-jitsu. He has been submitted, but more high level guys like Gilbert Burns and stuff like that. So, and like Michael Chiesa back in the day when he was in his prime, Neil Magny. So he had a win over Mike Mallet. Mike Mallet kind of did have, it was close on the stand-up, but Mike Mallet was using his takedowns and being really heavy with his wrestling and grappling, and then just gassed out. Gave up the position to Neil Magny and he got a ground and pound. So that was a good win for Neil Magny, and lost to Ian Gary. Had a close one to Phil Rowe. Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's going to be, I feel like Michael Morales' footwork will be too much for Neil Magny. I feel like Neil Magny will probably be a bit more frustrated there to close distance and use his clinching. He may get it done with the clinching and his grappling, and get the fight to the ground, but I don't think he will. I think he's also getting past the two there, almost pushing 38. So I feel like, yeah, Michael Morales' footwork is going to be too much for Neil Magny. So Michael Morales is a pick here. And next up, we've got Edmen Shahbazyan versus Gerald Meerschaert. Another weird fight too. Edmen's there. Oh my god, what happened here? Sorry. Yeah, Edmen Shahbazyan's coming off a win here. He was getting, I wouldn't say picked apart fully, but it was a bit of a close fight. He was getting hit. He was getting touched up a bit there. So he's got a KO win. That's a good KO win there for him. I kind of rated Dobson with his striking. So yeah, with Edmen here, it's a bit of a weird one. Like, he's got decent striking, but he gets hit a fair bit too. And like, as much as he's good with his takedowns, he loses a lot of positions on the ground too. So yeah, he's good with his takedowns, but yeah, I just don't rate his ground game too well. Giving up positions, he gave up position there to Dobson, I think, pretty sure as well. And also with Anthony Hernandez, he was getting the better of Hernandez there on the striking. But Hernandez, when he got the fight to the ground, he had his way with his controlling him on the ground and getting the ground and pound. had a win there against Dalja Labio. I can't pronounce her name. And then that was the fight where kind of like, wouldn't say exposed Edmen, but showed that he's not top 15 caliber against MMA with elbows for crucifix, and lost to Jacqueline. So it's a bit of a weird one because like Gerald Meerschaert, I don't rate his striking too well as well, and he's getting past it as well. He's coming off a win against Byron Barberena, but Byron Barberena's ground game's pretty trash. So, and before that he had 2 straight L's, Pfeiffer, Andre Petrosky, and one against Bruno Silva, and lost to Jocko. So Gerald's a bit of a weird one. He stays on the outside using his jab. He's not the best strikers. He gets hit a fair bit too. Gerald Meerschaert defensively is not that great as much as offensive and striking. He'll do enough to try to close the distance and get the takedown and use his grappling and his jiu-jitsu. So he's very high level with his grappling and jiu-jitsu. I feel like he will have the better of Edmen Shahbazyan here on the ground. Much as you see Edmen there, you losing a lot of, positions on the ground there. Gerald, I feel like Gerald would definitely have the better on the ground game here over Edmen. But I feel like the striking, Edmen definitely has the power, and he's got the combinations there to get it done. So it's a bit of a weird one. I feel like community is going to go with Shahbazyan 80% knockout and 20% for Meerschaert. So it's a tricky one. It's a very, very tricky one. Like I said, the striking for Edmen, ground game for Gerald. So I'm gonna go with Edmen Shahbazyan. I think he can get this done and knock out Gerald Meerschaert. I feel like he could. But yeah, if he hits the ground, it's all over for Edmen Shahbazyan. So low confidence pick. Community going with knockout 80% and 20% for Meerschaert. So yeah, low confidence pick. Edmen's a pick here. Next up, we've got the main event here. Jared Cannonier versus Caio Borralho. It's a bit of a tricky one, this fight, and then I'll get into detail here. So Jared Cannonier coming off a loss against Nazarene Imavov. Sorry. A lot of people thought it was an early stoppage. A lot of people thought it was a good stoppage. He didn't look like when I watched it now, it didn't look like he was recovering too well. Like, he did get hit a bit, then ran back, covered up, got tagged again, then he ran. So, it's a bit of a borderline stoppage, but he did get hurt a couple of times while he was running around the octagon trying to recover. So I don't know. I'm not too sure about that one, but his last good performance was against Marvin Vettori. Like, he looked good in that one. Like, he mixed up his takedowns and whatnot, and very good with the striking. So he's very good with like targeting the legs. Very good at mixing up his leg kicks. Using a lot of straight shots there. He's good with his jab as well. He's got some decent head movement there, Jared Cannonier, but I feel like his speed is kind of starting to go away a bit there, and I feel like that's where his age is kicking in. So for the last fight, you can see Imavov had the better hand speed there too. He's doing well working his jab. Kind of picking Cannonier apart with the straight shot. So, and using his range well. So that's why I'm it's a bit skeptical this one. And going against someone like Caio, he may have the better striking there against Caio, but Caio is pretty damn smart. What I've seen with Caio here is like if you see his fight against Abus, right? He was very smart with being defensive. Like on the first round, he won't throw much. He'll move around on the outside, make Abus miss a lot with his leg kicks, because obviously Abus is got a kickboxing background, so he'll make Abus miss a lot. And Caio would just go in there, target, like throwing his leg kicks in, and he uses the bleed kicks there, and throwing the jab and the straight shots. He did try to get Abus down there on the ground, but kind of didn't succeed there. So in the later rounds, you'll see Abus was like slowing down a bit, and then Caio was like, he picked up on that. Abus is slowing down. I'll start, mixing up my striking. So he was started mixing up his jab and his straight shots, and he was picking Abus apart there. in the later rounds and using the leg kick. So he's quite smart there. As much as, you know, a lot of people think that he's a boring fighter, and he's got some good takedowns there as well. But I feel like he's very, very smart with his ring IQ in the octagon. If you don't see him throw much, it's because he's measuring his opponent and he's trying to figure out, like, he's trying to get them to miss their shots a lot. So he takes his time as well. Very smart fighter. Yeah, so wrestling is more of his pedigree compared to striking, but he's gonna have to start mixing it up a bit more, Caio, here, because he's starting to get deep in this division and knocking out poor Craig. Oh, he's terrible. So yeah, knocked him out there. And I think it was the second round there with a left cross. Yeah, he was shit, poor Craig, in that fight. So I can't really base I feel like Cannonier will be, if he targets the legs pretty well, chops his legs down of Caio's and slows him down, he may be able to pick him apart over 5 rounds. The only problem I have with Cannonier is, like, he does use his grappling and try to clinch against the fence there, try to slow down his opponents by using his size. But the problem with in the last fight that I was seeing is Jared started gassing in the 4th round. His hands were on the hips, and he was taking some massive deep breaths. And I feel like that kind of played a part there for him getting finished in the 4th round. Like, he was gassed, he was slowing down a fair bit, and I feel like MMO's conditioning was starting to take over, and he hurt Jared there because of his hand speed and the good conditioning. And then I feel like I don't think Cannonier was going to win. Even if it went to the 5th round, I don't think Cannonier was about to get finished because he was tired as fuck. So, yeah, so that's what I'm a bit skeptical picking on Cannonier in this fight here, as much as he's a good striker. But I feel like he's starting to slow down a fair bit. So I feel like, yeah, just in that last fight, he's starting to slow down a heap. So I'm going to go with Caio with a pick here. I feel like Caio would take his time. There's 5 rounds there. If Caio's smart enough, he would have watched tape and realized that, oh, Cannonier, shit, he's slowing down a fair bit. He's taking some massive deep breaths on the 4th round there. So you didn't see that in the Vettori fight. He looked really good with his conditioning, but in the last fight, he looked slow on the last just even from the first bell, he does not look fast with his hands as much as he did in his last couple of fights. So Caio's a pick here. I feel like yeah, he may even get the takedowns, but I'm not too. Cannonier's got some decent takedown defense. He does well to get up on his feet as well. So look, Caio may not get the takedowns early rounds, but maybe he may mix up in the 3rd round and, you know, slow Cannonier down in the 4th and the 5th. But yeah, the first 2 rounds are going to be slow for Caio. I feel like he's just going to move around a lot and make it really, really hard for Cannonier to get his shots off. So yeah, Caio's a pick here, just for seeing that last fight with Cannonier. It just doesn't look good with his gas tank and his speed as well and his whatnot. But yeah, he's still overall very good fighter, and he still can probably bang with the top 15. But I feel like he's starting to lose a step here, Cannonier. So yeah, Caio Borralho is a pick here. I think he'll get it done in this fight. So those are my picks of this fight. Also, the community here picks Borralho over Cannonier as well. So yeah, those are my picks for this card here. Like I said, I'll upload the tough finalists video on the fight week for this card here. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like, subscribe, and yeah, I hope this new layout's not too bad for your eyes and whatnot. So yeah, we'll be back next week. But yeah, again, hit the like, subscribe, and we'll be back. Take it easy, guys. Also, thank you guys for the 50. I've hit 50 subs on this channel. That last video took off a bit, almost hit 3K views. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for subbing. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all that. So big thank you to you guys as well. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Cheers, guys.